Today we are solving equations with rational numbers, okay? When we are solving equations that involve fractions, we need to find common denominators, okay? In order to find common denominators, I am finding the least common multiple of all of the denominators, okay? In this case, my denominators are 6 and 3, okay? So the least common multiple between them is going to be 6 because 3 evenly goes into 6. So I'm going to rewrite my equation as 1/6 p plus 8 equals -2/6 p. Okay, because when I turn my 3 to a 6, I multiply by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. That gives me -2/6 plus 14. Okay, then from here, I'm going to solve it just like normal. Okay, I would subtract 8 on both sides, minus 8. Okay, that's going to leave me with 1/6 p equals 2 -2/6 p plus 6. Okay, then from here, I'm going to add 2/6 p to both sides, plus 2/6 p. And that is going to leave me with 3/6 p equals 6. Okay, because those cancel out. And then I am going to, this simplifies to 1/2. Okay, 1/2. All right, I'm going to divide by 1/2, which is the same thing as multiplying by 2. I'm going to multiply by 2 on the other side. So p equals 12. Okay, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to check my solution. So p equals 12. I'm going to use my calculator to do that. So I'm going to do 1/6 times 12 plus 8 equals 10. Okay, then I'm going to check the same thing on the other side. So I have -1/3 times 12 plus 14. And that also equals 10. Okay, so 10 equals 10, so we are correct here. Okay, let's try another one right below. Okay, this one, find common denominators. So 4 goes into 8 evenly, so 8 is going to be my common denominator. I'm going to get 6/8 x minus 2 equals 5/8 x plus 3. Okay, then from here, I am going to combine my like terms. Add 2 on both sides. Okay, and I get 6/8 x equals 5/8 x plus 5. Subtract 5/8 x on both sides. All right, 6/8 minus 5/8. Common denominators are already taken care of, so 6 minus 5 is 1. So I'm left with 1/8 x equals 5. Then I'm going to divide by 1/8, which is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal, which is 8. So x equals 40. Again, I'm going to go back to my original and check it in the calculator. 3/4 times 40 minus 2 is 28. And then 5/8 times 40 plus 3 is also 28. Okay, so 28 equals 28, so this is correct. Another way to solve these types of problems is multiplying the entire problem by the least common multiple. Okay, so the same thing we did to find common denominators on the other, we're going to multiply the whole thing by that number. So in this case, my least common multiple between 16 and 8 is 16. Okay, so I'm going to take 16 times 7/16, and again, I'm going to use my calculator on this. which gives you 7y, because 16 over 16 is going to cancel out there, okay? 16 times 6 is 96 equals, and then 16 times 8, because you're doing it by every single term, 128 plus, and then we are going to get 6 here, 6y. Okay, then from here we have all whole numbers and we can simplify like normal. So I'm going to subtract 96 from both sides. This is going to give me 32. Okay, and I have 7y equals 32 plus 6x. And then combine my variables, minus 6y on both sides. And that leaves me with y equals 32. Again, I can go back to my original equation, plug it in, and double check it with the calculator. 7/16 times 32 plus 6 gives you 43 1/3. Okay, plug this back into the original equation. I do 7/16 times 32 plus 6 gives me 20. And then 8 plus 3/8 times 32 also gives me 20. So this is correct. Okay, let's do another one just like this below. Okay, 5 times 1/2 r equals 3/4 r minus 10. Okay, I'm going to multiply the whole thing by my least common multiple. Again, that's going to be 4 here. So 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, 4 times a half, negative a half, is going to give you negative 2r equals 3r minus 40. Okay, then solve like normal. Add 2r to both sides. That gives you 20 equals 5r minus 40. Add 40 to both sides. That gives you 60 equals 5r. Then divide by 5. And that gives you 12 equals r. And then plug it back into your original equation using your calculator. And both sides give you negative 1. So this is correct. Okay, so there are several more there if you would like to try some on your own. Okay, let's take a look at a couple that involve decimals. Okay, when you are doing decimals, you're just going to solve them like normal. Okay, feel free to use a calculator here. Okay, we're going to combine our variables and our constants. All right, so I'm going to add 0.15 g or 15/100 g to both sides. Make sure when you're adding your decimals, you line up your decimals. Okay, for adding, we are left with 7.7 equals 0 and 25/100 g plus 4.9, 4 and 9/10. Then I'm going to subtract 4 and 9/10 from both sides. 7.7 minus 4.9 gives me 2 and 8/10 equals 0.25 g. Okay, then I divide by 0.25 on both sides. 2.8 divided by 25/100 gives me 11.2 equals g. Again, go back to the beginning and check my work. 7.7 times 7.7 minus 0.15 times 11.2 gives me 6.02. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. 0.1 times 11.2 plus 4.9, 6.02. So this is correct. 3.3x plus 4 equals 16 minus 1.5x. Combine my like terms, subtract 4 on both sides. 3.3x equals 12 minus 1.5x. Add 1.5 to both sides. Again, trying to get the x's on the same side, so the constant will be by itself. Add 1.5 on both sides, 1.5x rather. I get 4.8x equals 12. Divide by 4 8/10. 12 divided by 4 8/10 in my calculator gives me 2.5. X equals 2 5/10. Substitute it back into the original equation using your calculator. 3.3 times 2.5 plus 4 gives you 12.25, or 12 25/100. 16 minus 1.5 times 2.5 gives you 12 25/100. So those are equal. That is correct. Okay, and here are several more for you to try if you would like.